Ladies and gentlemen, friends, and all you wonderful people tuning in today, I want to talk to you about something that's as simple as it is powerful: your thinking. You see, your mind is like a garden. If you plant weeds, you'll get weeds. If you plant flowers, you'll get flowers. And friends, I promise you, your thoughts are the seeds of your destiny. Now, I've been around a long time. I've seen people with all kinds of dreams, all kinds of challenges, and I can tell you one thing with absolute certainty. People don't fail because of lack of ability, they fail because of the way they think. You might be sitting there thinking, Zig, that's easy to say. But I've tried. I've worked hard, and things just aren't happening. Well, let me tell you a story about a man named Joe. Joe was a salesman, much like I was when I started out. Now Joe had a terrible habit. Every time he faced a rejection, he would mutter to himself, "I'm no good at this. I'll never make it." And friends, I'll tell you what happened. He didn't make it. Not because he wasn't capable, but because he believed he wasn't capable. His mind became a prison. And every day, that prison kept him smaller and smaller. But here's the beauty of the human mind: you can change it. You can turn that prison into a palace. One day, Joe attended a seminar, funny enough, just like this one, and he heard something I often tell my audiences. You are the master of your mind, and your mind is the master of your destiny. Something clicked in him. He decided to start thinking differently. Instead of saying, "I'll never make it," he said, "I can learn. I will grow. Every no brings me closer to a yes." And do you know what happened? Within a year, Joe was the top salesman in his company. Not because he suddenly got better at selling, though he did, but because he changed the way he thought. He changed the words he spoke, the thoughts he allowed into his mind, and friends, that changed his destiny. You see, your thoughts are like your steering wheel. You can steer toward success, or you can steer into a ditch. And here's the funny part. Most people think, well, my circumstances are steering me. But let me tell you, your circumstances are not your master. You are. You might say, Zig, that's easy for you to say, but my bills are piling up. I have challenges. Life isn't fair. And I get it. Life isn't fair. But your response? That's all on you. And here's the kicker. The person who changes their thinking first wins. Let me share another little story. This one about a young woman named Sarah. Sarah wanted to start her own business. But every time she tried, she thought, "I'm too young. I don't have the experience. Who am I to do this?" And every day, her dreams stayed just that, dreams. One day, she decided to flip the script. She started reading books, listening to motivational talks, and telling herself, "I may be young, but I am capable. I have ideas. I have passion. I can learn what I don't know." And you know what happened? Within 2 years, Sarah built a business that not only supported her family but helped her community as well. She changed her thinking, and in doing so, she changed her destiny. Now, friends, here's the practical lesson. Start paying attention to your thoughts. Every time you catch yourself saying, "I can't," stop. Turn it around. Say, "I can learn. I will try. I will not give up." And don't just say it, believe it. Because belief is the gasoline that fuels action. I've also learned that humor is a secret weapon in this. Life is hard enough. Don't take yourself too seriously. I remember a man who came to a seminar I was hosting. He said, "Zig, I've tried everything. Motivation, books, advice, but nothing works for me." I said, "Well, sir, have you tried laughing at yourself yet?" He looked at me funny. I said, "Life is like a mirror. Sometimes you've got to smile at it before it smiles back at you. And you know what?" He laughed, and that little spark of joy was the beginning of a change. So friends, here's your takeaway for today. Watch your thoughts, guard your words, and laugh a little along the way. Because your destiny is waiting, and it's waiting for the person who chooses to think differently. Alright, friends, now that we've planted the seed in section 1, it's time to talk about action. You see, changing your thinking is powerful, but it's just the first step. Thoughts are like seeds, but action is what waters them. Without action, your garden won't grow. Let me tell you about a man named Frank. Frank had a great idea for a product, something that could change people's lives. But he kept thinking, what if it fails? What if people don't like it? What if I make a fool of myself? He thought and thought, but he didn't act. And you know what happened? Absolutely nothing. The world went on, and his idea went nowhere. Then one day, he decided to act. He told himself, I don't have to be perfect. I just have to start. And he did. He stumbled, yes. He failed a few times. But each failure taught him something. Each setback was a lesson, and every lesson brought him closer to success. That's the magic, friends. Action amplifies thinking. Here's another story, one that always makes me smile. There was a young man named Tommy. Tommy wanted to be a motivational speaker. He had passion, but he had fear. Every time he tried to speak in front of people, his knees shook, his voice quivered, and he wanted to run. But he kept telling himself, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action in spite of fear. And friends, that's exactly what he did. He started small, just speaking to a group of 5 friends, then 10, then 20. Slowly, he built confidence. And today, Tommy speaks to hundreds, inspiring thousands. All because he changed his thinking from, I can't, to I will try, and then took action. Now, here's the truth that I want you to grab onto. Your destiny isn't something that happens to you, it's something you create. You create it with your thoughts, your words, and your actions. And let me be very clear, no one can do this for you. Not your parents, not your boss, not your friend, not even me. You have to do it yourself. But don't worry. God, the universe, life, whatever you believe in, will meet you halfway. If you plant the seeds of positive thinking, water them with action, and fertilize them with persistence, the results will come. They always do. Let me share one final story before I leave you with a call to action. There was a woman named Linda. She had a dream of writing a book that could change people's lives. But she thought, I'm too old. I'm not talented enough. Who would want to read what I write? And friends, she almost gave up. But one day, she decided to give it a try. She wrote a page a day. Just 1 page. That's all. Months later, that 1 page a day became a manuscript. And years later, that manuscript became a book that touched thousands of lives. She changed her thinking from, I can't, to I can do small steps. And those small steps changed her destiny. So here's my challenge to you, my friends, my brothers and sisters listening right now. Today, take a moment to examine your thoughts. Are they helping you? Or are they holding you back? Then take action. Even if it's small. Even if it's imperfect. Start. Laugh at your mistakes. Learn from your failures. And never, ever give up. Because here's the truth I want you to carry in your heart. If you change your thinking, you can change your destiny. And if you change your destiny, you can change your life, and perhaps even change the lives of everyone around you. So I want you to stand up, metaphorically or literally, and say to yourself, I will not be held back by fear. I will not be held back by doubt. I will think positively. I will act boldly. I will grow. I will succeed. And friends, when you do that, the world can't help but respond. Doors will open. Opportunities will appear. People will be inspired by your courage. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize you didn't just change your thinking. You changed your life. You changed your destiny. So go out there. Think right. Act boldly. Laugh a little. And live the life you were meant to live. And always remember, as I've said many times, you were designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, and endowed with the seeds of greatness. Now go make it happen.